You got to keep people on your side in all these situations. I remember when I was working at the rental car place, every once in a while someone would call up and be like, "Hey, do you have a iPad? Got left there like half an hour ago." It's like, I bet I do, if that fucking snaggletooth crack addict didn't already steal it. And if they were friendly, like, I wanted to like immediately go down and help them. If they were like a douchebag and they were like, "Hey, 4 days ago, I returned a Honda Odyssey and I left a laptop in it." And it's like, okay, let me check. Who have you spoken to before? And he's like, "Well, no one." And it's like, I want to be like, 4 days? That's sold. Like, that only has not been stolen, it's been actively sold by one of these
pawn shops.
Like, why are you being a dick to me? And now I'm gonna do some goose chase where sometimes I would joke with people where I'd be like, "Well, after 4 days, I can't tell you if we have your iPad or not, but you can have as many sunglasses from our bin as you please."
We would take a lot of cars in on trade. Like every weekend, we'd probably take in 12 or 15 cars in on trade, and they'd be out there, and there's a special lot for them. And I kind of had this mental timer. There was no rule, but after that car had been sitting there long enough, everything in it was ours now. And I would go out there and take everything that had been abandoned, if you will.
Did you have a snaggletooth at the time?
That was me, yes.
Are you a 6'6", overweight, hills have eyes looking guy in Boise, Idaho?
I would make out. Like, I would do pretty well. Like there would always be like $5 a change at least to get all that change out of there. I'd always steal all the change. I'd get all that sticky change out of there. And I had like a big coffee can full of change under my desk. And if there was anything left, I would take it. I remember one guy left a gun, and I was so tempted to keep the gun. I was like, "Oh, it's a gun. I'd love a free gun. He's just left it here." But I had to be like, "Hey, Mr. Walters, you left your gun. I have it here. You come get your gun." I guess I'm not going to.
If you dare.
You better bring a bigger gun because I'm armed now.
Was it even a good gun or just a free gun?
I don't even remember. It was a little semi-automatic pistol. I wasn't super into guns at the time, or at least not the nomenclature of them. But I just remember being like, "Holy shit, it's a free gun. What do we do?" But CDs, like back then, people still had that rack of CDs above their visor. And it was like, oh man, it's like $400 worth of music he's got stuck up there.
Not my favorite, but
I think like free music. It was great. It was. We always had.
There's a lot of Enya.
I saw the signs.
I would do that in junkyards too. I think I just really enjoy treasure hunting. I like the idea of finding something that's kind of up for grabs. So we would go to the salvage yard, and my dad would be there to get like, I don't know, a transmission for a hot rod or something. And I would be going from car to car, just thieving, I guess you'd say, because technically all of that belonged to the salvage yard. But there'd be change, and there'd
if we're
be
getting technical, then yes, you were stealing.
Yeah.
After that, we go to the mall. I guess thieving, you could say.
Yeah.
We'll go fill our pockets up at American Eagle, you know. But no, I still,
this car is half of unlocked.
I still fuses out of them and change. And I actually found a gun inside of a car in a salvage yard.
Did you say fuses?
Yeah, I take fuses.
That's like one step away from copper piping.
It's not worth very much.
That's so degenerate.
I'm a kid, though.
Dude, that's like love of the game shit. That's like you were just stealing for the fuck of it.
Fuses.
They look neat.
Fuses.
Well, we also did. You know, we had a drawer in our shop full of fuses that were for, car fuses, and I was like, I'll just supplement our stash of fuses back at the shop.
What did fuses look like back in the day? Little glass tubes, little like
they were like squares, and the bottom two have the two metal teeth, and the top is plastic with a number on the back for what amperage they are.
Sizes.
Yeah. And then there's some big square ones too in some cars, like some big fat square fuses.
Yeah. Or possibly relays. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I wouldn't know. I was 12 years old, but I was filling my pockets every time we went to that salvage yard. And I felt like Indiana Jones. Just sometimes you'd find a car and you could tell it'd been obviously they'd all been car accidents, but you could tell that like somebody got hurt. I remember seeing a car that had a rear end collision, and the seat was bent backwards. Because if you imagine the physics of a rear end collision, the car moves forward and you stay in the same place. And if you're fat and heavy enough, you bend the seat with you. And so that's what had happened. And there was
did
like
the
blood.
entire seat bend, or did it like bend in the middle?
No, the entire seat like bent.
Just reclined.
Yeah, this was a big fatty. Like it was, and it wasn't just reclined. It was like the metal workings were ruined and bent backwards. Like you couldn't decline and go back.
I wonder
forward.
if is that possibly safer in any world where it like slowly gives way? Well, it, not like reclining versus just being strong as heck and pushing you.
Yeah.
But then again, it's supporting you really well on that push. I don't know what you want.
You'd want it to do what it did. Although I think it did what it did because there was an enormous obese person in there. I think that's what was going on. And then you'd see cars sometimes with like blood splatter in them, like, you know, where somebody had been hurt by the airbag or whatever.
One of my off-roading friends was a tow truck driver. And I always thought tow truck driver, like, you know, they pick up people who parked in the wrong spot. And he was getting like legit PTSD from it. It was stressing him out. He wasn't sleeping well, etc. Because they're actually like, they get the same sort of trauma other first responders do.
Yep.
They see the ambulance crew pull bodies out of that and then drag what is essentially now like this macabre coffin murder weapon to the parking lot.
I knew a lot of it. Being in the volunteer fire department was kind of like this redneck side club in our county, you know, like you know, you clearly it was like a social club as well as being a first responder. But a lot of those guys, you know, their dads did it that I went to school with, and so they wanted to do it when they got in their teen years. I think there's like a junior like volunteer fire department role where like 16-year-olds could take part and do drills and stuff. But anyway, a lot of those guys would be like, yeah, I don't want to do that anymore. We had to scoop parts of a person up with a shovel last night and put them into bags because people would get exploded on the interstate, and they would call those guys in, and they would literally be like organ meat strewn across the interstate that needed to be scraped up with a shovel and put into a body bag.
That sucks. I wouldn't like that job.
I wouldn't like that job either. Yeah. I'd rather fight.
I wouldn't even. I'd be like a terrible EMT. I'd get there and like someone's like gross and they already have blood all over their mouth, and I'm like, he's as good as gone.
I'm calling it.
I'm calling it. Please.
The bloody nose.
I can work my way free. Please don't go.
I have a pocket full of napkins that I cut a hole in, and I'm gingerly placing it over his
like a toilet seat.
Like a toilet seat.
You're making a whole square. You ever have to do that at a strange bathroom? Lay down the toilet seat paper protection?
I have before, but I'm, you know, live fast, die hard.
Right? I'm the raw dogger. I'm the reason the toilet seat's dirty, not the victim.
Yes, I am the one who knocks.
That's what you told me.
Seat's filthy, and I'm the one who sits in it. No, Skylar, I am the one who shits.